Happy New Year! I hope everybody is having a great start to their New Year's Eve, wherever you are. Today we are going to be doing a quick mobility class, and I have to say thank you so much to everybody that responded to my stories. You have no idea how incredibly helpful that is. I want to create content that people actually want to see, so there's no point me just trying to guess what you want to see if you can tell me exactly what you want to learn. Now, with that being said, sometimes there's like a big list of different things that everybody wants to learn, so it might take me a bit to get to yours specifically, but overwhelmingly there was a huge request for upper body, specifically our upper back. So I always find that interesting when I put a post out there or a poll out there, how many people have the same issues. So never be afraid to say what you would like to work on. So today we are going to be doing upper back mobility. You do not need any props necessary. You can try if you have a foam roller. Sometimes that can be helpful for one of the exercises, but you definitely don't need that. So if you are coming on, let's get some mobility work going, specifically our spine. So find yourself on your mat or just in a space that you have some room, and we are going to be in quadruped. Now, we are going to work through the entire spine first before we isolate it just into the thoracic, into the upper back. So get yourself set up in this tabletop position and have your shoulders over top of your wrists and your hips over top of your knees. And there should be a space in between your knees as well. I always say it's about 2 fists apart. So that you're stacking everything on top of each other. If your knees are sensitive, you can always put something underneath them. Toes can be pointed or tucked under, doesn't really matter to me. And at first, just try to find the place in your spine that you would consider neutral. So there's no arching in either direction. You're thinking about a nice long spine, right from the top, crown of your head, out to the tips of your tailbone. Once you find that, take a few breaths just to hold this posture. Give a good push into the floor with your hands so that you can feel your scapula start to turn on. Let's begin by doing a few rounds of cat-cow, and you can do this just chill how you like. So inhale into your cow pose and exhale into your cat pose. Might feel nice to close your eyes and begin to go back and forth between your cat and cow. And as you're doing this, see if you can become aware of the parts of your spine that maybe are not moving the way that you want them to, or the way that they should. I was actually really excited to see this on the list for something to work on, because this is something I have been working on a lot, and I still have a long journey ahead of me. All right, the next time that you come into your cow pose, let's pause here. So you're in this deep arch. We are going to begin to articulate our spine right from the tip of the tailbone. So keep the upper back in this position and start to send your tailbone down towards the floor. You'll feel your abdominals really turn on and begin to move one vertebrae at a time. Imagine that it was like climbing up a ladder and you're just doing one rung at a time. If you were in my class in person, I would be putting my fingers on your spine and walking my fingers up your spine. Maybe you're about the mid-back. Keep going until you're tucking your chin fully and your deepest cat pose. Let's reverse from here. So keep the upper body in this deep cat pose and start to send the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Notice the effort it takes to isolate this movement. Concentrate on your breath to help you. Slow down and be thoughtful with your movement. Now you've ended back into that deep, deep cow pose. Let's do this whole thing again. Start by tucking the tailbone. Move as slow as you can. It should feel pretty difficult, or it probably feels pretty difficult. If you find a spot that's really feeling like it can't move, just pause there and see if you can find that connection. A lot of that first work in our mobility is getting that neurological system to sync up. So finding that mind-body connection. Once you're in that deep cow pose, let's reverse. Send the tailbone up. Oh my gosh, this feels so good in the morning. Go slow, go slow. Okay, we've got one more round just like that. If you're just joining in, feel free to drop into this. Start in that deep, deep cow pose and start to tuck that spine under. And it really doesn't matter how much of a beginner you feel like you are or advanced you are. This work is always difficult. Come into that deep cow or cat. One more time, coming into our cow. Tailbone goes up one vertebrae at a time, guys. Here we go, slow. Let the sits bones flare as the belly drops, but keep the belly engaged so that you're using your abdominals to help control the movement through the vertebrae. All right, and rest. Come off of your hands for a moment. Okay, so that was now going through the entire spine, so right from the bottom to the top. Now, the request, and something that I have been really trying to work on, is that mobility in the upper back, so in our thoracic spine. So what we're going to do is called a lumbar lock. Starting in a child's pose, get your heels and your bum as close to each other as you can. And we're going to come down onto our forearms. Now draw your forearms as close as you can into your knees. So you're kind of in this tight little nugget. And keep thinking about having your sits bones close to your heels. That's really, really difficult for me. So keep trying as much as you can and keep feeling the low belly turn on. So now the idea is to keep the low back as still as possible. Let's press into the floor and tuck the chin and round the spine as much as you possibly can. So we're starting in this deep, deep flexion here. Beginning right from the middle of your back, can you do that spinal wave that we were just working on? So start to send the sternum down towards the floor. Chest goes down between your shoulders. And gaze goes forward, skull goes up. You might not see a ton of movement on me. That's fine if you don't feel it yourself. This is super challenging. Okay, we're in the deepest extension that you possibly can be in the upper back. If you're noticing mine, it's not so much. Okay, let's reverse. Starting from the middle of your back, start to send your vertebrae up towards the ceiling. This way will feel a little bit easier just because this is the natural way our spine curves. Once you're in that deepest position, now we're going into the extension of the upper back. So start to drop it down. This is the challenging part. This is the part where most of us are looking for that strength to pull the chest forward. And make sure that it's not just the shoulders doing the movement. We're actually moving in the back. Okay, my body's on fire. Let's do one more. Send it up. Keep your sits bones down. Chin tucks. And last one. Send it down. Send it down. Send it down. Send it down one vertebrae at a time. You got this. Gaze comes forward. Okay. So it might not look like a ton of movement, but definitely if you are doing this, you can feel it. Now we're going to take our upper back into a twist. I see some people use a foam roller for this. I don't know if I really find that it makes too much of a difference as far as the twist. However, I do like it because it makes you create a little bit of resistance. So if you're just starting this movement for the first time, you don't have a foam roller, fine, that's probably better. If you've done a twist in your upper back before and you want to work on strength, then you can add the foam roller in. So I'll start without the foam roller, just so everybody can see. We're in that quadruped position. You're going to take one hand and have the back of the hand on the floor. We're going to thread the needle, and if you do a lot of yoga, you've probably done this before. The difference on this thread the needle is as you slide the hand through, I want you to drop your seat back towards your heel, so that you're locking the low back into the position and you're feeling the rotation just in the upper back, and then you slide it up. We do it again, slide the hands, slide the hips back, twist as deep as you possibly can, and then return back to center. Keep going. If you're trying it with the foam roller, you'll place the back of the hand on the roller, make sure that there's space, and as you slide through, you can feel yourself moving on the foam roller, and you can push down and create a little bit more resistance. And then slide it up. Let's switch to the other side. I'll show you from this way with the foam roller. Take that hand, back of the hand, so palms facing your body, and begin to slide it underneath. Drop the hips back and feel the rotation. Let your hips get towards your heels so the low back's not moving, and you're just moving in the thoracic spine. And return back up. Again, sliding it down. Or sliding it out, I should say. Hips come down. And all the way back up. And we've got one more. Here we go. Slide it out. Whether you're using the foam roller or not, hips come back. Rotate just in the upper back. And all the way back up. Excellent job, everyone. Whew. I don't know about you, but that really got me sweating. Yeah, if you have any questions about that, you can either drop them in here or send me a message so that I can clear up anything for you. And if you want the replay, of course, you need to sign up for my free VIP group. And when you sign up for that VIP group, the link is in my bio and I'll put it in my stories. Also send me a DM so I can let you come into my private group on Instagram where you can have the entire library of all the lives that we do. And yeah, thanks again for your engagement, your support. It is the end of 2022. I hope you have a happy new year, and yeah, thanks so much. Bye.